Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 11 preview between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Dolphins.
In order for the Miami Dolphins to have success this week versus Buffalo, they got to get back to basics, which involves running the football with Reggie Bush. I understand he fumbled and you took him out of the game, but let's not kill team success to make a point. You got to put him in the ball game, and you want to utilize Ryan Tannehill where he can be effective. Let's not forget he is an athlete and he can get out there on the perimeter. Find plays for him to have success with his legs as well as his arm. And Jake Long needs to have a huge day versus the Buffalo Bills. You can't let this be the day the Bills get the pass rush going. Long has to protect the quarterback a lot better than he's doing so right now this season. But let's go inside the lab and look at this Bills defense and see how they can match up versus the Buffalo Bills.
We know the Buffalo Bills love to go empty in certain situations, in particular when they get to the plus 40 going in for a touchdown. Here's how the Miami Dolphins can better match up versus the Buffalo Bills when they go empty. There's 4 different ways and many different ways, but here are 4 examples. They can go 3 deep, which is your basic coverage. It's corners, safety, corner, all have their deep third responsibility. Right here, this backer is buzzing toward the hook, to the curl, to the slant. That's his responsibility. This defensive back he has hook to curl responsibility, curl the flat, the outside defensive back, and that defensive back has the curl. Over here, we have man press with the safety and coverage. So we're replacing this defensive back. He's going to go on the blitz, and we're going to use the safety to cover his guy as the defensive end loops around to try to create that spacing here where this tackle is going to go out to block the defensive end, leaving free reign to the quarterback. Linebacker is manned up on Fitzpatrick because let's not kid ourselves. This guy still can get back there and make plays with his legs, and we have everybody manned up on their corners. Down here we have a quarters coverage, which means everyone is responsible for a quarter of the field. Corners, the last defensive back, and the safety all responsible for a quarter of the field. Linebacker has hook to curl to slant. Short defender has the hook to curl, and the flat defender has the curl to flat responsibility. And lastly, we have a zone pressure with the safety back. So it's going to be cover 3. We're going to have our deep third coverage, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to blitz the play side defensive end, the strong side defensive back. He's going in. We're going to drop the defensive end into the hook area. Short defensive back has the curl. The flat defender has the curl to flat. So you see right there, those are just 4 different ways that the Miami Dolphins can better match up versus the Buffalo Bills when they go empty.
Let's move over to Buffalo in this ball game. And you look at C.J. Spiller, who's now going to be the number 1 back. He's going to get all the carries, and that means a lot for the Buffalo Bills offense. You look at that stretch of games during the season when he was the number 1 back when Fred Jackson was out with injury. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a much better outing. The Bills were on a winning streak. That's what they have to get back to. C.J. Spiller's the guy that can make things happen in a running game and also in the passing game, and that just eases some of the pressure off of Fitzpatrick so he won't throw as many interceptions or errant passes. So they got to lean on their running game a little bit more this week versus Miami. And you look at Kyle Williams and company, the running game, they have to dominate up front on the interior. If they can do that, then that's going to free up more one-on-one opportunities for those defensive ends to be able to get to the quarterback. But when I look at the secondary, I look at linebacker Brian Scott. This guy, former corner, former safety, very versatile player, and he's going to be a huge asset for the Bills this week as they take on the Dolphins offense that loves to go 3 wide, 4 wide receiver sets and also utilize their tight ends in flank position. So he's going to have a huge game in order for the Bills defense as a whole to have success. Mike Sherman, the offensive coordinator, is the X factor, in my opinion, for the Dolphins. He has to call a better game for Ryan Tannehill to utilize all of his skill sets. And I look at Cordy Glenn, the left tackle for Buffalo, being a key cog in this week's game plan and sealing the edge on the backside that allows C.J. Spiller to cut it back across the grain. Now let's look at the personnel breakdown in this ball game. I think both teams, quite honestly, have the talent to be successful. It's the inconsistencies that kill them. With the Bills, it's that defensive front 7. With the Dolphins, it's the play calling and the turnovers. Both have to solve themselves in order for these teams to take that next step forward. I like the Bills in this matchup. I think Fred Jackson's injury is a blessing in disguise for the Buffalo Bills offense. It's going to force him to lean on the running game a little bit more, take the football out of Fitzpatrick's hands, and it keeps that defense well rested and ready to go to get after the quarterback once they get on the field. And I want to give a huge shout out to Bill fan forums and Dolphin fan forums for always showing football game plan support.